I cannot arrive at any conclusion because I wasn't there.
But
So I cannot
Honorable,
tell you whether it met the constitutional requirement or not.
Sorry,
I was not there.
But were you supposed to be there?
Witness it.
As a stakeholder of the party, were you supposed to be at that convention?
I was invited to come, but the invitation was less than 24 hours. So I couldn't make it.
Wow.
Yes, okay. I couldn't make it. And that I'm not present there doesn't stop anything.
You're saying that you're not present there and several other stakeholders were not at that convention.
I'm not aware. Please get me straight. I'm talking for myself. I'm not talking for other persons.
Of course, it's public knowledge. It's public knowledge that.
No, see, my brother, there's something that we call public knowledge. But another thing is it fact or just something that is on the street? We must work with facts. As far as I don't have the facts, I cannot argue based on, words or statements that are not factual. I said I wasn't there, and that my not being present there does not stop anything. If they form a quorum, and by the constitution, the quorum has been formed, they can go ahead and do what they need to do in my absence. Nothing says I must be there as a stakeholder before anything can hold. It's not Amame Ahu. I'm not Amame Ahu. I don't know if they understand me.
Very well, very well. Okay, so yes. Is Barrister on now? Because I would also like to take him on this same question.
I wouldn't know. Well, how many of us are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
15 persons on the live right now.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know whether Barrister, if he's here, we'll answer you.
Let's proceed. The NLC has challenged the convention, and several other persons have come up to say, look, this convention is null and void. Yes. Now, what are we looking at? Are we looking at a possible turn of events, or we're looking at a situation where this convention holds and the elected officials of your party remains the leaders of the party?
As at the time,
I think the
Abrifo, you want to say something?
Yes, I said Vice Edeki is here and is the legal advisor of Labour Party. I think the last question before this one, they should be able to throw on light on that. So I think
we'll get to him. I'll come back to him. The question is still on, sir.
Okay.
I just want the honorable to
all right, please go.
Question.
Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Your question, please.
Okay, I said a lot of persons have come up to criticize the convention, the NSC, the TC, and several other stakeholders of your party. Now, what are we looking at? Are we looking at a situation where the convention is set aside as null and void, or the possibility of having these elected officials lead the party for another 4 years?
Whether the convention is null and void is going to be determined by the court, not any other individual. And the court will be presented with facts. Based on those facts, the court will decide. The decision of the court is what the party will follow. Elected members were not elected, they were elected before this convention. Are you understanding it?
Yes, go ahead.
I don't think whatever happens after they have been elected would affect the, after they were elected, the convention that happened will not affect them. Because as at the time we were elected, the chairman, the national chairman of the party and the party ESCO remains the ESCO, the party ESCO and the national chairman of the party, Abure. So the reason for a convention is because his tenure has, elapsed, and it needs to do a convention, an election of a new, national ESCO. So that there's problem with this convention that was done recently does not affect elected members. I don't think it affects elected members in any way. However, let us allow the court to decide whether that convention was properly done according to Constitution or not. I think the court is in best position to say, because irrespective of what we feel, it is what the court finally, comes down with that everybody will follow. Whoever is not satisfied with it can decide to now go to a higher court. And the decision of the higher court will now stand, overruling the decision of the lower court. That's the way I see it.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable.
Yes.
Barrister Edeki, the legal advisor of the Labour Party, Edo State. Barrister, can you hear me? Hello, Barrister. Okay, let me come back to Honorable so we can have a smooth interview. When the barrister comes up, I'll come back to him with the question. Honorable.
Yes.
There's so much, there's been so much legal tussle in the Labour Party. From the Apapa-led faction to the issues with your national chairman, as we have today, with INEC and TUC and the rest of them. Now, is this good for the party? Going into, I'm talking about Edo State now, going into election in September, for your party.
Hello?
Hello,
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
The other should mute their mic so that it will be clear, please. Thank you. So come again, sir.
Yes, I said going into election in September.
Yes.
Do you think all these court cases and issues with your leadership at the national level are all these good for the party? Going into Edo State, I'm talking about Edo State section of the party now. Does this look good for you going into election with all these issues happening around?
Well, I would say we are all aware that there's hardly any party in Nigeria today among the, how do I put it now, among the well-recognized parties that don't have one challenge for the other, that don't have one court case of the other before, during, and even after election. For Labour Party, is not peculiar to our party. I believe strongly all matters concerning court cases will be resolved within the party. And I don't have any fear that it will have the final resolution will have any negative effect on the party, because we are going to look at it constructively. Aggrieved persons will be spoken to. Matters will be resolved amicably, and the party will move on. NLC, TUC, they are all involved. We are all looking at the matter. So I believe with time, we'll be able to resolve this matter.
Mr. Moderator, please. I think I'm actively in now to entertain any questions from your end. In actual fact, the Honorable has spoken almost as a lawyer, and now that I've actively joined, I'm ready to participate in the discussion.
All right, I'll get back to you.
It's all right.
Barrister Edeki, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So you can go ahead with your question or your next question, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Barrister.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Barrister Edeki has been rightly introduced. Is the legal advisor to Labour Party Edo State. Barrister, before you came in, I've asked the Honorable some questions regarding
Yes.
the Constitution. I did ask you, I said,
Regarding what?
your
Elvis Brown, can you mute your mic, please? Elvis Brown should mute his mic.
I'm actually the one doing the interview.
Okay, you're the one talking. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, Barrister, your constitution as it is today, does it recognize the obedient movement who are non-members of your party?
Constitutionally, I will say no. The obedient movement was never in the contemplation of the crafters of the Labour Party constitution. Like Honorable Edosa rightly said, that Labour Party constitution existed before the advent of the obedient movement. And if you look at Article 19, sub 4, as it were, that these people are platform members. And NEC has to determine, that is, NEC shall determine such membership. So constitutionally, no. Even at that, NEC has never determined. The use of the word shall there leaves no room for discretion. It is mandatory that NEC shall determine such platforms' membership. We do appreciate their support and their contributions. They were quite immense and tremendous. But constitutionally, no, the Constitution does not recognize them. If you look at that same Article 19, Roman figure 4 of that Constitution, the closest we had was that for such platform membership, that body must or shall have been determined by the National Executive Council, the NEC, which in this case, it did not and it has not. But you look at politics and you see that the figure you are able to garner determines the point you will arrive at. So the Labour Party is an open party to everybody, particularly more so that the successive governments which have been in place, people were actually tired of them. That is why Labour Party attracted the sympathy of so many other persons, which now brought about the obedient movement. Not forgetting that this obedient movement started gathering support and recognition when our principal, His Excellency Peter Gregory, identified with the Labour Party, and that made that platform go viral and very wide. So for anybody to now say that the obedient movement can be recognized constitutionally, I disagree. Not to despise that movement, not to despise that platform, because we still count so much on the strength of numbers to be able to achieve our aims. So it is not to disrepute, to bring to disrepute anybody, whether you are a member of Labour Party or otherwise. But the closest we can have, as I said, was that by the provisions of that Article 19.4, that says NEC shall determine. But in this case, we have not seen such determination, and the use of the word shall in law leaves no room for discretion. It is mandatory that that word shall must be complied with. So I think I will leave the matter as it is for now.
Thank you very much, Barrister Edeki. Barrister, let's look at section or Article 9 and Article 14 of your Constitution.
Yes.
Which addresses the BOT, the NSC, and the TUC, their participation in the party, then in the convention, the party's convention. So would you say that the convention that was held in Anambra State met the constitution, met the requirement of your constitution, going by the articles of your constitution?
Yes, I can pound my chest to the effect that that convention has not in any way offended any section of the Constitution. First, we must come in agreement who constitutes the BOT, the Board of Trustees, which ordinarily includes chairmen and secretaries, past chairmen and secretaries, elected officers who have not led the party, who have not left the party. These are the set of people that constitute membership of the BOT. Now, let us take it further than that. Whether the convention can be said to be valid. Even leaders of the NLC and the TUC are ordinarily supposed to be members of the convention. And it is the duty of NEC to convene a convention at the national level, which NEC of the Labour Party did at the national level to call for a convention and having to send invitations to people, bodies like the NLC and the TUC to come and honor and take their place in the conduct of a convention. And if any of these organs, if any of these bodies or any individual who constitutionally ought to be present there feels otherwise, either deliberately or otherwise, not to be in attendance, the party cannot be faulted, they cannot be faulted for convening a convention, which it rightly did. But for anybody to assume that that convention offends some certain section of the Labour Party constitution, I will not align with such individuals. At best.
Barrister, can I cut you quickly?
Okay.
Subsection Article 14A1 of your
14A1.
Yes, 14A1.
What does that article say?
It's a functions and powers of party organs. He said the National Convention of the party shall hold once in 4 years. Then A1, he said the national chairman and all members of the National Executive Council, including the NLC and the TUC, presidents and general secretaries. I want to take that again. He said the national chairman and all members of the National Executive Council, including the NLC and the TUC, presidents and general secretaries.
Yes.
And then tell us that this section of the Constitution does not make it mandatory for them to be part of the convention.
But the point I made was that having sent notices out that a convention will be slated or has been slated for so, and then by reason of, I don't know, for whatever reason, those leaders of those bodies or any individual that by constitutional right are supposed to be on ground in the convention and they are not there, will the party be held bound, noting that the administration of a certain government has come to an end or is coming to an end? Will that support the creation of a vacuum in government because one person or one body has deliberately refused or otherwise failed, neglected, or refused to be in attendance? That, in my opinion, and legally, cannot hold down the party from doing the business of the party. More so, in this regard, time was of the essence. And in government, you and I agree that there cannot be a vacuum. So the summary of it all is that notices were sent out, the convention was properly convened, and in their wisdom, some persons or some bodies were not in attendance. And as a result, that couldn't have held back or held down the party, as it were, from making progress in that regard. So for purpose of emphasis again, I say that the convention was properly constituted by the body responsible to call for such convention.
All right, Barrister, we'll be looking forward to having a barrister from another maybe a non-party member to debate this with you in the future. I hope that that will be so we can look at it from the legal standpoint.
That will be most welcome.
All right. Let me go back to Honorable Richard. Doctor.
Yes.
Now, the barrister actually said, contrary to, you are a politician, he is a legal personnel. He has said that constitutionally, the media movement cannot be said to be stakeholders of the party because
he didn't say they cannot be said to be stakeholders. So please, that's a point of correction.
But it did say that the party, the constitution does
not. Stakeholders what he said.
Honorable. What I said was that by the provisions of the Constitution, they cannot be said to be stakeholders.
Okay. Yes.
And I went further to say that at the time the crafters of the Labour Party Constitution were crafting the Constitution, obedient movement had not been born. It's only after the emergence of our principal, His Excellency PGO, that obedient movements gather support and recognition. So, like you rightly said, the only way we can bring them in now is to make a proposal for the amendment of the Constitution before they can be properly regarded to.
That's it.
Stakeholders.
Thank you very much for that clarification, Barrister. So, Honorable, I think we're on the same page now. Going by that position, would you say the media movement would betray the Labour Party if some of them, like we have seen, some of them have come out to denounce your party's candidate? Would you refer to that as betrayal?
I didn't hear you.
Okay, I'll take that again. Is it clearer now?
Yes.
Okay, we have seen some of the obedient movement who have said, look, we have not decided on the candidate we are supporting in Edo State 24 election. Now, do you think that would sound as a betrayal to your party if some of them refuse to support your candidate?
Let me tell you, let me just please say something. Stakeholders is an independent, a person with an interest or concern in something, especially a business. A person with an interest or concern in something. Obedient movement came up because of the concerns of Nigerian citizens on the moral decadence, the corruption, the corrupt leaders, the suffering that the people are, the insecurity, the debt. Are you getting it? That the country was bedeviled with. Every good Nigerian citizen share that concern. And when the NSAS movement was ignited, NSAS eventually led and gave birth to the obedient movement, having the same concern. So a stakeholder, as far as I know, is somebody or person that with an interest or concern in something. So if their interest is changing today, right? If their interest, as at last year, concerning the problems the other parties have brought to our country, and made them to support Labour with all their heart because they feel Labour will help, to change the narrative. If today their interests have changed, meanwhile the problem that we are facing in the country is yet to be solved, then I cannot say they have betrayed anybody. But I just wonder how the obedient movement last year, some of them has automatically changed this year, less than 9 months away. It's something that baffles me that I still cannot understand. However, to say they betrayed our party or they betrayed anybody, it's not in question. It's not the bone of contention. but that they are stakeholders in Nigeria, stakeholders in Edo State, are concerned with the decadence, the criminality, the bad leadership that has led to suffering, insecurity, no food for people to eat, right? Untimely death, life expectancy has reduced in Nigeria. Our professionals are running away. If that is the understanding 9 months ago that made the obedient movement overwhelmingly support a particular party and a particular candidate, and refuse to support some other set of parties who they claim have been the ones that destroyed the country. And today, the narrative is changing, going back again to that same set of party for one reason or the other. I wouldn't say they betrayed anybody, but they still keep me baffled. What has happened between then and today? That's how we answer your question.
All right, Barrister, there's an explanation for that. Explanation to but I'll come back to it. I want to give room for to someone who has questions. I want to put. We'll come back to it so that you can throw more light. Most of these guys are using your party.
I'm not sure I can hear you properly, please.
Even me, I can't hear him properly.
Better now, Honorable. Can you hear me better now?
Okay, I think it's improved hearing.
Okay, maybe I should give him to Eda Egbe Agbonifoto. I'll be back.
That's all right.
Okay. Once again, I say good evening to everybody, and special good evening to our guests on the show. My question will actually go to the two of you, because I want to circle around the discussion. First, what has been established, and lastly, on doctors said is baffled what has changed between 9 months and now. Well, we have established this evening that the Labour Party constitution as it is today does not recognize the obedient movement, because the obedient movement was not there at the time that constitution was being set up. That is fine. But again, having seen all the contributions the obedient movement has made to Labour Party, having brought Labour Party limelight, and as a matter of fact, all the representatives that we have today in the House of Senate, House of Representatives, and as well as the House of Assembly, all came in through the efforts of the obedient movement. That is very clear. So having that scenario and having that level of input into the party, is it not proper that we should begin to think of a constitutional review to accommodate this set of people? Because that too could actually be responsible for the changes we see now between the 9 months, the last 9 months and now. Because what the government actually wants is good governance. And they thought they could get that in Labour Party. But we have seen the activities of Labour Party in the last 9 months, the troubles and all of the things that have happened there, and the fact that even the obedient movement that have given life to this party does not have any kind of input in resolving in all of this, and does not have any kind of input in the decisions that are being made by them. Don't you think that it is time to review that party to accommodate this story of people? If it's so, what efforts are being done as soon as possible? The questions will go to both of you, sir. Any of you can take it first.
Okay, let me make my contribution first. I did state in my earlier submission that the contribution of these bodies, the obedient movement, towards Labour Party has been quite tremendous. And that if we now say that constitutionally it does not cover the membership of such persons as it were. And I also did say that the closest we could get them to was by the provisions of that section, Article 9, sub 4, which says NEC shall determine. But again, you will agree with me that the only constant thing in this world is change. These persons actually came on board because they were actually tired. People were tired of the ineptitude of government, successive governments in the past how many dispensations. So you also agree with me that to amend a constitution, it takes a process. It is not just something one person will wake up in a day and say, we are amending. That process must be followed before an amendment can be made. And if that amendment is not made, there is no way constitutionally we can incorporate this group of members, as it were, into the decision-making process of the party. So, amendment is possible to incorporate them constitutionally, but it has to pass through a process. Again, like what the Honorable said, that in the past how many months, that the way and manner some of these people have behaved also baffle him. I will not be too surprised, because even if you look at Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it allows for free association. You are permitted to associate with any group, provided it is lawful. But again, in politics, number is the strength. And Labour Party is a one big family and indivisible. We cannot afford to lose a member. We cannot afford to lose a vote. We cannot afford to lose a voter because of the forthcoming election.
Hello, sir. May I break you there, sir?
Okay.
May I come in there, sir?
Yes, please.
If I may understand too well, obedient groups, they are not political parties. These are groups of people who is agitating for a new Nigeria.
Exactly.
Looking for a competent hand who can handle this nation. Not party, not religion, not tribe. Sir, if obedient group don't take time, they will use them like a tools and dump them. If I don't know if you know what is happening in Abia State, obedient fought everything to make sure Uti became a governor. Sir, go and check all the appointment he made. There is no obedience among. Where is the obedience in Abia State? They have been relegated to nothing. We are not political party. We are agitating for a new Nigeria. As I am, sir, I'm not a member of Labour Party, but I'm a member of obedience, and I believe in a competent hand. Let any party bring out any member we knew that will deliver this nation from the hands of these wicked people. Let these people begin to see that Nigerians are no longer after political party. They are after competent hands. If Obi leave Labour today, sir, I am moving with Obi. That is to tell you I'm not a Labour Party. So if we have that mindset that I am a Labour, sir, where are our senators in the Labours? They are all using SUV. I have not heard any of them challenge the government. Where are the House of Reps? Then somebody will hide under the umbrella that we are Labour parties. Then use the obedience to get in there and start dealing with us, sir. We should think twice. I don't want to be a part of failures, because I don't want to contribute to my people. We say when you remove any particles on the eyes, you show the eye.
Sorry, Mr. Jerry, I have to cut you. Sorry, you actually suggested. Hello, Mr. Jerry. Hello, Mr. Jerry. Hello, Mr. Jerry. Can you hear me? Jerry, can you hear me?
I'm with.
Sorry, and those are the issues that we're trying to address. You actually cut in while the barrister was trying to address some of these issues. Don't forget the question I asked was what will be done to accommodate the movements in the party constitution, and how soon, and what is being done to address this. Because like you have identified Abia State now, like one of the reasons why they can easily be thrown out will also be this constitution and party affiliations. You know, except you now become a member of the party, there will actually be no room for you. There are organs of the party that recognizes people who are stakeholders. So we want to know what is the consideration for this category of people. So I think I would like the experts to actually address us. The barrister is a key member of the Labour Party. Honorable Edosa is a member of the Labour Party. I'm sure they will have ideas of measures being put in place by the party to address it, because they are seeing what is happening with the obedient movement. So please allow them to talk to us. Go ahead, barrister. Hello, barrister, are you there? If you can't hear me, Honorable Edosa, please, can you take up from there while we wait for the barrister?
Thank you very much. And okay, let's get Edeki back now. Barrister.
Yes.
Barrister, are you back? Okay.
Yes, I'm back.
Please go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, so what I want to say in furtherance to the discussion is that in my capacity as a state legal advisor, I will communicate this issue of constitutional amendment to the state working committee and the state executive council so that we can make recommendations exactly as it affects our members in diaspora vis-a-vis the obedient movement, so that an amendment can be considered to fully incorporate them in the constitution.
Let me add to what Barrister just said now. I can speak for myself. I may not speak for others. I can't speak for OT. I can't speak for House of Rep. I can't speak for Senate, but I can speak for myself. I remember clearly while we were campaigning, I was among the person that was telling every obedient member that came to meet me that they want to work for me or work with me, that they should please go and register with Labour Party. Because I saw the stone coming. Register with the party, ask them, they will tell you, mention it a couple of times to them. Please register with the party. Somewhere along the line, the party state chairman also insisted, obedient movement, don't forget, sir. Some of them came as support group. Many of them came as support group with different names, but it was all under the movement. And this support, over 99 support group, if I'm not mistaken, Barrister Edeki, you can correct me, maybe more, officially registered with our party. And I can tell you today that I am still working hand in hand. Before I was elected, after I've been elected, I still work hand in hand with the person that I recognize that was instrumental, directly or indirectly, to my victory as an elected member in the House today. Let one obedient person come out and say, Dr. Edosa is not trying. He does not recognize anybody. That would be a lie. And then, let me also say this. The party appreciates everything the obedient movement has contributed. I particularly appreciate it. I would be glad if one way or the other, everybody in obedient movement can be incorporated into the party, because it is the party that provides the platform for anybody to come and contest an election. Without the party, you cannot contest an election. Until Nigeria developed to the point where we can do independent candidacy. That means you don't need to come under any party. You don't need to come under any platform. You can just come out, register and say you are a candidate, independent candidate. But we have not gotten there. As far as we have not gotten there, the party serves as a platform. Peter Obi is in Labour Party. And many people who believe in Peter Obi joined the movement. Some joined Labour Party. There are some obedient members who joined Labour Party that period. I can attest to that. And those obedient members that join Labour Party, some of them are already ESCO in Ward 7, Ward 8, Ward 11 in Oredo-West. You can go and verify. They are ESCO in the ward. Now, Peter Obi saw other parties, but he chose to join Labour. Why? Because the fundamental principles and the ideology of Labour fits with his own ideology. I heard him saying that some time ago when some people asked him why Labour Party. He said it. It is among all the other parties the one that fits with his own ideology and fundamental principles. And therefore, he decided to join Labour Party. I don't see Peter Obi leaving Labour Party anytime soon. So please, I want to beg the obedient movement, what we have started, what we believe in that inspired us to come together to effect change in our society that will benefit the generality of Nigerians. We must not look back. My soul shall take no pleasure in that man that putteth his hand on the plow and looketh back. Even God does not understand people like that. So please, what we have started, you must understand that every good thing must face challenges at the very beginning. These are storms. These are arrows that is coming, wind, storms that are coming to shake the very foundation of Labour Party based on the principle and what it believes. And this period that we are facing, going through this trial, I don't think this is the time for obedient movement to abandon us. Rather, let's put heads together and find a lasting solution to the problem we are facing, both in our party, in our state, and in our country at large. Mind you, what will crystallize the salt in the solution in chemistry is an additional drop of salt. So whatever we are going through now, I don't want anybody to see it as a negative signal to run away, but to see it as a challenge that we must overcome if we must defeat our common enemy. Thank you very much.
All right, Barry.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Dr. Edosa, thank you very much. I want you to give us your word. The barrister has said that he is going to make a proposal for a constitutional review in favor of the obedient movement. You will agree with me? You said at the beginning,
I will support that 100%. I will support that 100%.
Good, that's what I wanted to hear. Because at the beginning, you said the groups came in different names, some small, some big. But as they are today, the obedient movement is much more organized now. And you are here now on COPDEM platform. COPDEM is beyond the household name, a very formidable front for the obedient movement. So I think it's time we actually sit at round table and begin to consider all our interests in the betterment and the interest of the party. Ms. Brown, back to you.
I want to come back to you on the issue we were discussing before I had to
Hello, Ms. Brown.
Good evening. May I say good evening to everyone?
Ms. Brown, you are breaking.
May I say good evening to everyone?
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr.
My name is Osaro, KSC, Chairman, Labour Party, Edo State.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Yeah, you guys are doing so great. I thought I could just say hello to you. Thank you for the discussions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, sir. It's good to have you with us.
Your obedient group is profoundly appreciated. We'd like you all, please.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you too.
Thank you.
It's good to have you in the house.
Thank you so very much.
Okay, Ms. Brown network is kind of breaking. Mr. Briefer, please, you can go ahead. I'm sure you want to say something.
Sorry, my hand has been off since, so
Yes, we'll take Mr. Abrifo, then we'll take Mr. Thaddeus Ugo. Please.
No, please, no,
Abrifo, go ahead.
Mr. Igbe, let her go on first.
The woman now.
Give her the.
Okay, Mr. Thaddeus Ugo, please go ahead. Mr. Thaddeus Ugo, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to also talk. Yes, I haven't, listened to everyone who has spoken, and also the honorable. I think I appreciate your comments, and but I just want to say something. One is, I wouldn't want to. I mean, well, you said the Labour Party actually appreciates the obedient movement. Well, for me, I think action speaks louder than intent. So I think for me, I would say I will not agree with that assertion. And I use that word assertion with all carefully. Because one, since after the election, I don't think there have been a very concrete gathering which was called solely to appreciate the obedient movement, either the leadership of the obedient movement or, and all that got involved in that process. I need to be corrected. Thank you. That is one. So for me, saying that the labor movement, the obedient movement is being appreciated by the party, or appreciate all the effort, the time and energy and resource that has been put into the process to see that we are where we are now. For me, I think. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so to say,
so are you making a statement or are you asking a question?
So both questions, I will ask a question. I'm just making some statements. So I think I won't agree with that.
Okay.
That's one. Then talking about, yes, I agree that we all need to. The party is a platform through which, of course, the vehicle through which we need to get engaged directly. So I'm asking, I think what I think them should actually embark on is to begin the process of making sure that this, whether government member or the larger obedient, movement, actually we begin to talk about how the process of making sure that we are, because I can tell you, looking at the crisis that have engulfed Labour Party, which is I'm not happy about, and most of us are not happy about. We're also shocked that that's gotten to that level. Actually, got to that level. Is because a lot, even that process also make sure that they stiffen the access for even some of us to get a membership. So we don't even know where. So I think part of the question and discuss would be how now can the larger obedient movement begin, have access, unhindered, unfettered access to becoming, maybe membership card and becoming proper member of Labour Party, which is very important, and we cannot overemphasize the import. So my question would be, I think, do we think that because I see that a lot of groups, of course, that we address as the obedient movements, like COVDEB, like, CPU and all of them, is it that becoming a member of Labour Party properly, does that take away the is that fear that it will take away the membership of that groups? I just want to understand whether that fear is on. Thank you.
Can I take advantage of that question? Can I take advantage of that question?
Chairman, please go ahead.
Can I take advantage of the question?
Mr. Chairman, please go ahead.
This is the legal advisor. Hello, this is the legal advisor, not the chairman.
Okay, please go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, the question you have asked leaves no room for fear for anybody. So becoming a member of Labour Party, if we look at Article 9, Roman figure 1 to 3, it outlines how an individual can become a member. Simply put, that if you want to become a member of Labour Party, you start at the ward level. and then you obtain your card, and then also you express your interest to become a member, subject to payment of some monthly dues and all of that, which is an obligation that you owe the party first of all by paying some money in the form of dues. So there is no need for anybody to be afraid of anything. The party is not the church, it's not the user of money. That after like we have also appreciated, you hear the chairman who said we appreciate this movement and all of that. In my submission, I've always said that their support has been very tremendous. It is not a way of relegating them or bringing them to discredit. If we say that the countenance of the Labour Party constitution did not recognize them because the constitution was born before the obedient movement. But like again, I said, I will have to communicate this, the report of this interview to the members of the State Market Committee and the State Executive Council led by our chairman, Comrade KSC of Barr. Having said so, it is my proper advice to intending members who do not know how to go about it, that they have to go and start from their ward, from the ward level, do the needful here, and then automatically they become members. These are things being stakeholders who can vote in meetings, who can speak in meetings, who can vie for positions, and all of that. So there is no need for anybody to exercise any fears, whether they have been dumped or whether they have been dumped or otherwise. We appreciate them so tremendously. We recognize them. We are satisfied with them. The issue of constitution, we cannot overlook it. We cannot overlook it. That's where the first snag is coming from. We cannot overlook the provisions of the Constitution, but conventionally, they are recognized. We recognize them. We appreciate them, and there's no need for anybody to be afraid of being used and dumped. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister.
Most welcome.
We're rounding up now.
Can I come in, sir?
Is Honorable still here? Please, you have to hold on. Is Honorable still here?
I've been raising my hand. Can I come in, sir?
Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Chima Brown. I'm speaking from Umuahia, Abia State. I just want to appreciate all of us in the House, particularly the resource persons, for this wonderful evening and the discussion. I just want to correct one impression. Talking about the coalition and the support group. You know, many of us, particularly for me, I am a clergyman of the Methodist denomination. My vocation do not permit me to become a partisan politician. If I must be, it then means that I will resign from my vocation to actively participate and become partisan. Many of those who are in the coalition, who are in the support group, are civil servants. By the civil servant rule, they are not permitted to become card-carrying members of a Labour Party or any other political party. Our participation will only end at support level. And some of us looked at the situation, the scenario as at that time, and we came in, even though we became partisan, as it were, based on the interest, the personality of our principal, and all that happened then. What some of us are advocating, one, there should be peace in Labour Party. However we may achieve it, however we may come about it, there should be peace and there should be togetherness. We cannot achieve anything without peace. We cannot make progress without peace. The second point I want to make, sir, is that if it is the NEC that has the power to determine who becomes stakeholders, I do not think it requires constitutional amendment before members of the obedient movement will be carried along, having discovered their commitment, having discovered their zeal, having discovered their contribution to the success of the party in the last election. I think that the party should spread their tentacles to accommodate and to make sure that people are carried along. I am particularly happy that somebody mentioned that in Abia State, that no member of the coalition or the obedient movement is recognized. I will say that that assertion might be correct in one part, but on the other part also, there are few, very minute that we are over. For instance, the support group that I belong to, that is P2B National Mandate, our leader, Matilda Anyamele, was recognized as special advisor. That is the only person I can recall that was quickly, based on her participation, based on her active participation during the election. So the point I want to make, sir, is that Labour Party, being a progressive party, should understand that every person, no matter how small the person might be, is very, very important. Such people should not be neglected, because 2027 is very much around the corner. The way we treat these people at this time will determine their level of participation or commitment or support in the next dispensation. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Barrister Abrifo should speak next. Is Barrister Abrifo here?
Yeah.
Udo Akaga.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. I want to thank all our guests. I also want to support what Honorable Edosa said, that he has been encouraging supporters who are obedient movement, from obedient movement, to join Labour Party as a member. I have been leading obedient movement, but I want to use myself as an example. By the grace of God, I am a card carrying member of Labour Party, and not only a card carrying member of Labour Party, I'm also a local government LGA officer in Labour Party, and I've been encouraging members of my support groups that they should all go and register as members of Labour Party, because I saw this coming. And that is what I have been doing, and I'm still doing that, encouraging members of the obedient movement to go to their ward and register as a member of Labour Party. And using myself as an example, I have not been discriminated against. Nobody has told me in my local government that because you are from obedient movement, therefore there is no room for you. No. So if we all, this now goes to all of us who are members of obedient movement, that we should go to our respective boards and get registered as member of Labour Party. I think that will help us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister. Mr. Isang, are you here? Mr. Isang Udo, you raised your hand. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I want to say thank you very much for the organizers of this meeting and for what COPDEM has been doing. My name is Sam Udo Akara. I'm a member of the Labour Party in Akwa Ibom State. Not only a member, a candidate in the party in the last election, where I contested for the Federal House of Reps. You know, and what brought me into the party is just the obedient movement. I'm a product of the obedient movement, very obedient to the core. I realized that majority of the obedience outside Labour Party do not really understand what's happening in Labour Party. You see, there are two types of politics. Politics to win election, politics of genuineness, of credibility, and politics of personal interest. And I dare say that most of the leadership of the party, under Julius Abure, are there for nothing else but personal interest. And so it's not possible for those kind of personal interests to align with the obedient movement. For example, Labour Party in Akwa Ibom State has been under the leadership of people who deliberately do not want the party to grow, who deliberately are interested in just sitting there, occupying positions, and frustrating every effort for the party to grow. And so what we did in Akwa Ibom State, the obedience within the party, we keep on calling on obedience outside to come in so that we can fight this party from inside. I heard one of the speakers talking about what the Labour Party should do. They should open their hands. Some people in key leadership, especially Julius Abure's group, what Julius Abure did at Newi is a clear anti-obedience activity. Very clear. So the obedience needs to come into the party, play the internal politicking of the party to fight against the selfish interest group. And what we have done in Akwa Ibom State is to sack the chairman, using the NLC political commission based on the declaration that was done on 8th of April. And the obedience within Labour Party have taken over Labour Party with a new chairman, a new state chairman, with an interim state working committee in place. And we are now, then when many people heard of this, they began to send in congratulatory messages. People who had been aggrieved, who have been pushed out of the party, have started coming in again. The last chairman, the outgone chairman, his slogan that he has been known for is "the fewer, the more." Imagine what a saying that somebody is known for. The fewer, the more. That means the few we are, the more money we have when money comes to be shared. So such people will never align with the obedient movement. If you keep on making recommendations for such people to align with it goes nowhere. That is why they call us obedient noisemakers. They call us obedient noisemakers because we make noise without action. Obedient movement is a very powerful movement, but will not be able to affect that power. That power will be like potential energy, whereas we need kinetic energy, energy in action. They will never be able to affect anything by staying outside and setting recommendations of what the party people should do. We should come into the party at the wards, build the wards, raise up obedient community in every polling unit, or else election will come, a PDP man will carry Labour Party agent tag and become an official party agent for Labour Party and sell out the votes we've won. So enlightening the obedient movement. And one weakness of the obedient movement, the obedient movement is that majority of the obedience are new in politics. They just came in when Peter Obi came. Many of them did not have a voter's card. You saw how there was a rush for voter's card when Peter Obi became Labour Party candidates, because they've not even been voting. They don't know how to play politics. They don't even understand. Some of them don't even know what is the meaning of word. They only know how to campaign and vote. Campaign and vote
can gather votes, but campaign and vote cannot win election. So there's the internal strategizing, politicking in the party, which we need to educate the obedience to know about. And the more obedience come in and play the internal politics, the more we overwhelm I call them stomach infrastructure politicians who don't care. Can you imagine in a local government area where there was a vibrant candidate to run for State House of Assembly, but the state chairman of the party refused to give him tickets and said, instead of giving him tickets, let that place be vacant and let the party lose election. And Peter Obi lost election in that local government area, even though he won the votes, the maximum votes of Peter Obi, but the result will come out Peter Obi lost. Most people will never align with the obedient ideology because their ideology is completely old.
All right, please, could you round up now? Could you round up, please?
Well, that's exactly what I want to put on. Thanks. So the obedience coming to the party is key to getting things done right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Udo. Let us not forget that the obedient movement has the tool of marketing and demarketing. But I will allow the Honorable and the barrister to respond to the things that have been said by barrister yourself so that we can round this up quickly. Honorable Richard. Okay, is barrister?
Yes.
Okay, could you respond quickly to what has been said so far, just briefly, so that we can round up?
Okay, very briefly, I think all that needed to be said has been said, and my position remains that by the provisions of the Constitution, interpreting them strictly does not undermine the support and contributions of the obedient movement. And further to that is that for us to be on a very cemented ground, such members of the obedient movements who have not registered to become members of Labour Party should please do so by going to the ward, their various wards, either in their local government of origin or their local government of residence, to start the process of registering their membership, taking it from that level. And again, as I said, that the only thing that is constant in this world is the word change. I would recommend to the State Working Committee and the State Executive Council, under the leadership of our able chairman, Comrade Kelly Ogbaloy, to take it up to the national level so that we can see what amendments can be done to adequately incorporate these bodies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, barrister. I had wanted Honorable Richard to respond to the accusation of neglect by a segment of the obedient movement in Edo State. But I'm particular about Edo State now as we round up. A segment of the movement that accused the leadership of the party, the national chairman, the state chairman, and even Barrister Richard himself of neglect. Some of them have said the party had made pledges, the leadership of the party actually has made pledges to them that they have refused to redeem. And they have also accused the women leader of the party of some rhetorics that the obedient movement in Edo State does not have a force. And they quoted the women leader as saying that they do not have members, and so they are not a factor. And because of that, the pledges made by the leadership of the party will not be redeemed. Now, these statements, maybe they're taken out of context. At some point, we might need to have the women leader of the party on this platform so we can ask the questions, so that she can have the opportunity to clarify those statements. And so they hold this so strong, and I think the party needs to look at that. Honorable Richard is not here for him to respond to his own part of it.
Well, I know I'm not officially invited to this particular episode of your discussion this evening because I have access to the platform. I thought I could stand by and just listen to the contributions, not really to make comments.
So, Mr. Chairman,
but
you can actually respond because you were also accused in this same accusation. They said you made pledge also, and you refused to redeem your pledge to them.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
pledge
Because
exactly?
at that point now, I felt compelled. I consider incumbent that I speak to it. The first question we ask in return is that what pledges could that be that they are talking about? Who are these that are talking about such pledges? Now, let us take into account that in the last election, Labour Party did not win in total. Reasons are that we lost it at the national level. And so scantily we won in some states. And so if you say Labour Party made pledges to the obedient groups, what pledges were these? Because I'm not sure of any. And not the woman leader herself has the capacity to make any pledge on behalf of the party. So if people say we made pledges, which pledges are these? Very, very clearly, the two persons who spoke to you, when I meet you now to this discussion, the legal advisor and Honorable Edosa, has given total answers to what is to be asked, what you ask. Now, when you are talking of compensations and pledges, what did we not ordinarily agree? I heard somebody saying that the obedient group felt that the administration of the state, Nigeria, is no longer in tandem with the desires of the people. And in their own volition, decided that they will key into any program of a political party to change the narrative. So in this regard, were you requiring a compensation for any political party than the main objective of changing the narrative in Nigeria? So when we are now talking compensation to obedient group, make pledges, I don't get it. How could I pledge to you other than the fact that if we jointly enter a government that will respond to the yearning and aspiration of the people, infrastructural development would be made. The roads will work, the hospitals will work, the schools will work. Therefore, at every point in time, you will have the opportunity to use these services. If NEPA is properly provided, you will have it. I think this is what we elected to ourselves when we decided that we should change the narrative. It was not a compensation to a particular group. I don't think that was the desires, even you as obedient group. The objective for which you came up was not individual compensations or group compensations or pledges. I'm the chairman. I'm not sure at any point in time we made any pledge to anybody on that you will get this and that. Very clearly, becoming a member of the party is going to your ward to register. I listened to somebody who was talking that they must fight labor. You must use the NSC to fight labor. I just laugh at that. If in the location he is, he could do that. Well, it's okay, all good and well for him. But I don't think that you will resort to anarchy and hope that you are addressing the issue. Doing what he said is doing in whatever place is coming from is resorting to anarchy to change the situation. And that is not right. So the obedient group from Edo State who has said that, oh, the chairman made pledges, I'd like them to speak to it. I'd like them to come to my office. I'd like them to arrange a venue and prepare to meet with them and let them state in what occasion and what were the pledges I made, so we can discuss it. So I do not think appropriate answer will give it to that even in this discussion. Because nobody will make any pledge. Which pledge? What pledge? That you will do what I will make pledge? We didn't win elections. We won scantily. So what pledge were we supposed to make to anyone? So my advice is that the obedience group should accept to become the members of this party. That won't take away that garment of being obedient. It will not take it away. But you should first of all become a member of Labour Party, and then the Constitution itself will reflect you. Because stakeholding means that you are a member from your ward level, you pay the required monthly dues to the party and become a financial member. And I can tell you that a good sense of the obedient group around us are no members of this party, and they have contributed no dues to this party over the period of time. And it's clearly stated in the constitution of the party that you can only be a member when you are financially committed to the party. And that if in 6 months you didn't pay your dues to the party, you are not a member. That is what the constitution says. And so we sit here, we are talking of compensation, we've forgotten the main objective why the obedient itself came forward.
Mr. Chairman,
with due respect, please, with due respect, Mr. Chairman.
No, please.
We didn't forget the agenda. Please, I mean, with due respect, that was retracted.
Can you hold on, please?
Please, we are in Abuja, but that was
the program. I'm anchoring the program. You will have to wait for me to give you opportunity to speak, please. Now, Mr. Chairman, we'll be hosting. I've been reliably informed by the host of this program, Barrister Abrifor and Elder Egbe, that we'll be hosting the state chairman and the national chairman on this program, the next episode, the next series on Saturday. Now, we'll be looking at the part 2 of this topic, the Labour Party Constitution and the Obedient Movement. Now, we hope to bring up all the questions that the people have so that you can actually answer them from your position as the chairman and as a barrister. And we'll also give the opportunity to the national chairman who has a lot of questions. No, we've had series of questions people sent to us for the national chairman. And thank God we'll be having him on Saturday. So we're going to reserve all these questions for you and the national chairman to answer on Saturday. So that being said, I want to give the opportunity for Honorable Richard and the legal advisor of Labour Party Edo State to give their final words before my host will give the closing remark for this series so that we can actually close the meeting for tonight. Honorable Richard, if you are still in the house, please.
Hello. I want to say a big thank you to the organizers of this meeting. I want to also thank our state chairman for his presence. He's a very busy man, but because these are matters that borders around the well-being of our party, he's also here with us. I want to thank everybody for their contribution so far, the questions and the responses. I'm happy we're talking like this today because when we have challenges, it is when we discuss our challenges that we can find solutions to challenges. And challenges must come. There's no way we can run away from it. But we must see challenges as opportunity to effect changes. We must see challenges as barriers we must conquer to be able to move forward. Before now, I remember clearly when I was campaigning, when we were doing the obedient movement, when we were campaigning for the presidential election, I was talking to every president of support groups on the need to join as a member of the party. Because when they are saying we
So you're stopped.
Huh? We don't have structure. They feel Labour Party is new and we don't have men.
Okay, we seem to be losing Honorable. Can we have Barrister?
You say?
Your last
No,
words.
that I did before. But for purpose of emphasis, let more people take advantage of that Article 9 to become financial membership. That will enable you to become a stakeholder in the party. And then the all-encompassing of all bodies and organizations into the fold, I will take it before the state working committee, my capacity as advisor, and the state executive council under the leadership of a committee of one, so that such discussions can be forwarded to the national at the national level for a possible amendment, so that all these persons' interests can be taken care of in an all-inclusive manner. But I will urge them to still be steadfast. The obedient movement platform, I urge them to still be very steadfast, so that we can get the common victory, we change the narrative, and then we ensure a good government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister. It's a pleasure to have you. Elder Egbe, is he here?
Yes, Elvis, thank you very much for a wonderful job this evening. I want to especially thank our guest speakers for tonight, Dr. Edosa and Barrister Edeki. I want to thank you so very much for coming on this series. And I also want to thank our state party chairman for participating in the series. It has been a wonderful section tonight. And of course, the topic for discussion has been one that has direct concern to all of us. And of course, like the anchorman said, we are going to continue this discussion next week. And we are going to ensure and solicit that all interests in the dispensation be considered in the activities and scheme of things, so that we can have full participation. Like Dr. Edosa said, there has been a gap between the last 9 months and now. So many things has happened, and he's wondering why. Perhaps all of this could have been responsible. So I thank you, all of you, and I say thank you for coming to the show, and good night until next week. Thank you and good night.
Thank you and good night.
Stay informed, stay connected, stay invested. Join me for Connect World with Becky.
See, they have made it abundantly clear to us, though.
Okay, maybe. One second.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, cordial. Let me say, I'm not out of it. I'm not out. Eh?
So out of the meeting.
You say out of it?
I'm not letting the meeting, but I'm not obedient ourselves.